There you go. There we are. Okay. Many of the trustees from the university are just concluding a very important session with new students and who will be coming in as they can. So, well, welcome, community of Ashland. This is bravo, bravo. I mean, really, bravo. This has been a long time coming. Today is the International Day of Peace and the lighting ceremony of the World Peace Flame. A very special time, yes. It is also the third birthday, the third anniversary of the Ashland Culture Peace Commission. 3 years ago today, we launched. So, bravo to everybody who's helped that happen, which is many, many people. On May 16, last year, 2017, Ashland had a proclamation that it is a city of peace. That was a thoughtful step that Ashland will become, is a city of peace. It also at that time joined the International Cities of Peace. And joining the International Cities of Peace, but proclaiming that we are a city of peace is an important step, an important proclamation, important identity, but it's a beginning. It's an intention. It's a movement in a direction. It's not that it's done, it's the movement. And this is a very important part of that. Today is a significant step in being a city of peace and joining other cities around the world who have a World Peace Flame monument. But this is very special, and very special to be here in the Thalden Pavilion. And Barry and Catherine Thalden with their vision of creating this, and Chris Brown, the architect, to have his skill to create this. And what a beautiful thing. But now this is a beginning with having the World Peace Flame here is a initial step. This is a beginning for the Peace Flame, and you'll learn more about that, is a gathering place. It's an inspiration. As Sandra Slattery mentioned to me as we were talking just before we started here, the key is persistent peace. If you think about it, and that, as a tagline, persistent peace. That's how we move forward. That's how we, in peace, and we're not talking about peace, we're talking about a culture of peace. And what makes up a culture is everything that we do and our choices. It's our daily choices that make any difference. And it begins with us as individuals and where we work, our families, where we go to school. That's what makes the difference. As we move forward, that is how we create our culture. Is that how we can change? We can. We are. We are doing that. We're making a change right now, being here today, together. Look at this. Our community is together. Yay! Being the International Day of Peace, it is a day of celebration with literally hundreds of millions of people around the world are celebrating this day. Every country, every time zone. And one of the beginning pioneers of this was Pathways to Peace. Pathways to Peace was really where we come from. That's the mothership that Ashland Culture Peace comes from. And I just want to honor Avon Madison, who is the co-founder and visionary of Pathways to Peace, as well as Joni Cardelli, who is here today, and other, there she is, right there, the other co-founder of Pathways to Peace, yes. And Pathways helped to initiate within the UN in 1981 the International Day of Peace, which is the beginning where at that time people were going, what's that? Now it's huge, all around the world, hundreds of millions of people. And this year's theme is the right to peace, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights at 70 years old. It's the right to peace. That's everybody. Think about it. The right to peace, homeless, housed, all people, every nation, every race is the right to peace. Absolutely. And the right to peace is what we are doing here is laying the foundation, and what we can do is our very best. And this is fabulous. I'm so delighted that we're here and doing this together. But we're laying the foundation for the young ones. They are the And this is there's an amazing story happening here. These are students from the Ashland Middle School. And they, just as of last week, they are the flame keepers who will keep this oil lamp lit. As an eternal flame. That means ongoing. This is an eternal flame now, as we started today. So part of this is so special because of the visitors that we have coming from the World Peace Flame Foundation and arriving 2 days ago, and to hear more from them, and Sabitri Mikush, who is the executive director of the World Peace Flame Foundation, but coming from the Netherlands, coming from Australia, coming from Switzerland, to be here, 4 of them, to be here specifically for this lighting ceremony. That's how important this is. How important this is. The beginning point of the International Day of Peace around the world is a moment of silence, a minute of peace. And so we're going to be doing that and taking that minute, literally. And as we do, let us think about what are we bringing today? Why are we here? And what are we going to walk away with? And what are we going to share with those in our families, in our community, as we walk away? Because each of us will, and we have a choice to make, what we bring to other people. So let's literally just take a minute of silence and be together. And this is a blessing this ground, a blessing this space to be together. And as we do, the blessing of the flame, leading to the lighting, the perpetual flame that will be here always. This is a day of honoring all of us. And when Irene first discovered the World Peace Flame in Wales 3 years ago, her deep inspiration was to bring it here, and to bring it here to honor all, and all who had come before us. Native American, Chinese, all people. That's what this is about today. It is honoring all, and we share that. And we bring that grounding into this earth. We bring that honoring, again, to honor and support the choices that we make moving forward. We are very delighted and honored to have Dan Wapampaw begin our time together.
Bonjour. Nindigen cause Wapishkimiguan. Nindu de Magizi. I'd like to, I'm wearing my hair out today in memory, in mourning, in memory of those who were marched out of here 150 years ago, on whose occupied territories that this peace flame sits upon. It is very important to make the first peace before any peace is made. The peace with the Native Americans, the peace with the land, the peace with each other, ourselves, and this earth. When we make peace within ourselves, this earth will change, this earth will heal. Racism is a form of spiritual hate, spiritual self-hate, because we all come from the same source. I'd like to acknowledge that this flame originally was a natural gas flame. There was nothing peaceful about natural gas. And so we went all kinds of ideas to try to keep this flame lit, beeswax candles supporting the pollinators, beekeepers and all this stuff, and we finally settled on biofuels. So that is peace. So it's recycling, and we're using Mother Earth's resources wisely. So I'm going to sing this song here, and in honor of this peace flame on Shasta Tequilma territory. And this song is calls upon the mother. We don't know what the creator is, a man or a woman, or for the creator is the universe. And we are simple cells in the mind of the Creator. We don't know that, but we do know that the image of a male God subserviates women and the Mother Earth. So we need to inoculate these world religions with common sense, earth-based ways. I'd like to ask blessings for all of our future generations. I'd like to ask blessings for all of our elder relatives, all those who fly, all those that walk and crawl and burrow, all those under the waters, all those who stand, all those under the soils. And I ask that you give them good balance and good generations and good waters, that you watch out over our future generations so that our future generations can have this beautiful things that we have. I ask that you help us to shake our colonized minds and our colonized hearts and the traumas that we've received from this colonization. And I ask that you help us become contributing human beings, contributing to life and contributing to our future generations and making wise choices and using our minds for critical thought process. Aho, miigwech. Oh.
There are many ways to be inspired, and may this always be a place that we can come to for inspiration, remembering today, deeply remember this day, and come here alone. Come here a time for introspection, time to celebrate, time to share with others. But this is our place to come to. Inspiration we'd like to share with you is an invocation with Elizabeth Austin, who, when with the Ashland Culture Peace Commission, she brought this forward and shared with us, is deeply inspiring and impactful. Bringing it here, again, part of our celebration and part in blessing this ground. Elizabeth Austin, please.
We are here. At the end of many thousands of years of evolution, we are here. Let us be worthy of all that has become before us. I am very pleased to offer an invocation of the culture of peace archetype. These words, some are mine and some are Dr. Jean Houston's, but together it is an invocation of the culture of peace archetype. Join with me as we are here in this beautiful place together. We ask the wisdom of all that has been in this valley, including airplanes. The natural world, the first peoples, pioneer folk of all colors and creeds, peoples of all genders and beliefs, glorious culture and artistry, to be with us now. We ask that which is emerging of the culture of peace as the center of healing, education, culture, the possible human, the possible society, and the inclusive network of harmony to be with us now. We ask the archetypal pattern of the culture of peace that is held in our collective unconscious and is emerging here and now in this circle and in this flame to be with us now. We ask the beauty and the glory that each one of us holds in our unique giftedness to be with us now. And we ask to see all these aspects in a weave, a tapestry of emergence, a new cloth to cover the new reality as we join together to make possible the birth into this time of a culture of peace in Ashland, the Rogue Valley, the state of Oregon, the United States, and the world. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. Irene Kai is my life partner, co-creator of the Ashland Culture Peace Commission. She's also an artist, an author, and a visionary, and a manifester. she had the vision of bringing the world peace flame, and it's called Persistent Peace. Irene.
Wow. Okay, 3 years ago, exactly, there's a chance encounter in Wales that I just come upon the World Peace Flame. And it is a pure journey of grace and magic. And today, you're all here co-creating this by your desire and your generosity with all different way of support. The World Peace Flame is here. So thank you. Thank you, community. We all brought it here. So my deepest gratitude I want to express to Barry and Catherine Thalden, who has invited the World Peace Flame to be installed at the Thalden Pavilion. So thank you, Barry and Catherine Thalden. I would also like to recognize the many leaders who have come to show their support of the World Peace Flame today. Our beloved Grandma Aggie, Chairwoman of the International 13 Indigenous Grandmother. Thank you for coming today, Grandma. We love you.
Love you all, too.
Yes! Dan Wapepa, founder of the Red Earth Descendant. And Russell Beebe, who has carved the teaching pole right here, flanked the World Peace Flame. Pam Marsh, our Oregon State Representative. Mayor of Ashland, John Stromberg. Mayor of Eugene, Lucy Vinnis. Linda Schott, President of Southern Oregon University. Savitri McQuish, Executive Director of the World Peace Flame Foundation. Kelly Raymond, Ashland School District Superintendent. Christopher Brown, the international award-winning architect who designed this magnificent pavilion. And our flame keepers from the Ashland Middle School who will keep the flame burning as an eternal flame by refilling the lamp every week with recycled biomass oil. I would like to share with you my inspiration of bringing the World Peace Flame here today. 3 years ago, a chance encounter of the World Peace Flame in Wales. It was deep in the middle of the mountain in Snowdonia in Wales, and I just happened to drive my car right into it, like right in front of it. And the sight of the flame when I read World Peace Flame on the monument, it really ignited the sacred flame in my heart. My desire to bring the flame back to Ashland is to honor and heal the past with all who walked before us on this land, and to honor and heal ourselves right here, to heal our wounds so we can lead our children to a better and sustainable world. And it is quite difficult right now in our political climate, so also around the world. When darkness grows, we must rise and become the flame to illuminate all dark corners everywhere. So we rise and we are the flame. And there's only one race in this country and in the world. That is the human race. We all share our humanity, so let us unite with our hearts and our spirit. We are the flame. Thank you.
I'd like to hear a big round of "We Are the Flame." 1, 2, 3. We are the flame. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, 3 times. All right. 1. We are the flame. We are the flame. We are the flame. Woo! All right. This is also not just Ashland. This is not just our region. This is the state of Oregon. This is the United States. And this is international. This is what is happening here. And this is being recognized and noted in all levels of our state. I'm delighted we have a letter from Governor Kate Brown, and it will be read by Alex Campbell, the Southern Oregon Regional Solutions Coordinator. Yeah, welcome.
Get there. No. All right. Nice to see you all. Thank you. I'll just say really quick word personally. I spent 10 years in Washington, D.C. working for peace and environmental organizations. I had the pleasure of meeting my wife, playing for the Peace Action Peace Community softball team. So this is a real pleasure to be here with you today. I couldn't find my Mighty Doves jersey, but I want to share with you a message from Governor Kate Brown. Greetings. As Governor of Oregon, I spend my special thanks to the many people who work to bring the world peace flame to Oregon. Today, the International Day of Peace, Oregon takes her place alongside the world, including the Netherlands, North Wales, Australia, and Belgium, to welcome the world peace flame as a sign of our shared commitment to peace and the conditions peace requires, human rights for all. Oregon is a state committed to peace and justice for her people, and I'm particularly glad to welcome the Peace Flame to Southern Oregon University. Curiosity, critical thinking, and collaboration are nurtured in every learner at SOU to build both prosperity and peace in a rapidly changing world. Our public universities are beacons of hope for a better life. This flame reminds us all of our hope for a better future and our responsibility to build that future together. Thank you for your commitment to not only imagine a better world, but to do the hard work to create it. Sincerely, Governor Kate Brown.
And then from Senator Jeff Merkley to read his letter to us. Amy Amron.
Thank you very much. Before I read the letter from Senator Merkley, I wanted to let you all know that there is actually a peace tree in Washington, D.C. Some of you may know about it. It was planted by Senator Mark Hatfield, who fought a little bit to get the tree planted. It is a dawn redwood, and it is planted between the office buildings and the Capitol. And Senator Hatfield thought it was important that there was a tree planted in this place where you walked between the offices and the Capitol from Oregon. And he invited Senator Ted Kennedy, to join him in a bipartisan fashion to plant this tree. And it is named the Peace Tree because it mirrored the pair's work on promoting nuclear disarmament. And as soon, and the rumor is, or the legend is, that when this tree grows to be the largest in the Capitol, that a new era of world peace will begin. And it is very close to being the largest tree. So, and this tree means a great deal to Jeff Merkley, and every year he takes his entire staff out to take a picture under this tree as it grows tall. And if you do go, or when you do go to Washington, D.C., please stop by our office and ask for an intern or for a tour so you can go out and see this tree. It means a great deal to all of us. So this is a statement from Senator Merkley. Thank you all for coming out today for the lighting of the World Peace Flame. It is my pleasure to join this community in celebrating and recognizing the United Nations International Day of Peace. Now, more than ever, we need to remember the values of unity, hope, and peace embodied in this event and in the World Peace Flame. It is truly an honor for Oregon to receive this World Peace Flame. Thank you to Irene Kay and David Wick for bringing this beautiful idea to realization. This flame, which will be located here in Ashland, is the second World Peace Flame in the United States. Just one other is located in Tennessee at the Civil Rights Museum. By exemplifying the motto, "One Flame, Uniting People Worldwide," this flame will preserve the message of the need for unity in this community and across the globe. Today, we also gather to honor the Native Americans who lived on this land for thousands of years prior to settlers coming west. We also honor the Chinese laborers who worked in gold mines here in Oregon 200 years ago. We cannot ignore the hardships they faced, and we will use this flame to acknowledge those challenges and appreciate the people who stood on this ground before us. As an international representation of hope and the right to peace and unity, this flame serves as a symbol to remind us of the importance to come together as a worldwide community. All my best, Jeff Merkley, U.S. Senator for Oregon. Thank you.
Ashland's Peace Choir. As Amy had mentioned about a peace tree, a tree that is identified with peace, we have one that is newly identified here when we started our 11 Days for Peace on 9/11, when we had a wonderful gathering and invocation of the Spirit here, an invocation of the directions in Sophia. Planton guided this and also brought an olive tree. That olive tree was part of that ceremony. That olive tree is over here. It will be nourished. You got a little sunburned. It'll be nourished and will be planted here someplace on the grounds. So that will be part of our growing presence of peace tree in here with the lamp. It is such a delight. It truly is an honor, truly quite remarkable to have Savitri Mikush, Executive Director of the World Peace Flame Foundation, being here, and she brought her colleagues with her. This is coming all the way from Wales, from the Netherlands, bringing great experience, knowledge, information to share with us as we honor, consecrate this area. Savitri, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all the distinguished guests who've created this and the beautiful people of Oregon. Thank you for coming here today and adding your power and your greatness to what is yet to come. Because let's begin by affirming that everyone has a dream. Everyone here has a dream. And today we are witnessing the culmination of the dream of Irene, David, a whole team. But a dream isn't a dream until we bring lots of people into it. There's no joy in standing there on our own. That's something else. So to meet Linda Scott, and who is here and has the University of Southern University of Oregon, and the Thalden family who have given this place, and all the people who have contributed to making this possible, I really thank you. So the dream of creating a world peace flame, a symbol for humanity, rose out like a phoenix of our work in the war zones. About 20 years ago, after these 7 flames came together and were united in Oregon University, in Bangor University College of North Wales, just a few months after that, we were invited by the UNHCR, the Red Cross, and some other NGOs to go to former Yugoslavia and lead a reconciliation and healing program for 7 days. It's quite a thing. There's a lot of warring factions. The first day, I was met by a lot of belligerent stares. People looking back at me like, oh yeah, what are you going to do? It's all right for you. You come from there. You haven't suffered this. It's something each one of us will meet in the other as we go along, because until we understand that the pain that's out there will be my pain unless I do something about it. So the days unfolded, we gave the best that we had. And we began to see the healing taking place and the unraveling of the knots in the individuals, but not in the groups. A group over there, a group over there, never the two shall meet. Graffiti on the walls, pointing fingers. But you can't judge pain. You can't judge things that have happened because nothing we do will change the past, but everything we do will change the future. It happens in this moment. So on the 5th morning, I woke up feeling like something's got to happen. And then I looked at the little flame that was beside me, because every morning I spend some time in meditation with the flame to reorient myself, to make sure I'm aligned with my purpose, with my day, with what I want to happen. And then I thought, why am I walking away for this? Something different's got to happen. So I picked up the flame, walked into the room. It's interesting, this morning, I had the privilege to be on the Jefferson Public Radio. By the way, did you tune in? Did you hear us? Good, good, just checking. So, and as usual, as often happens, people say the inevitable questions. So, what difference can a flame do? It's great you have a world peace flame, but what difference does it make? I picked the flame, by the way. The flame will not do all the work for us. Just like the Creator will not do all the work for us. Pray as we may, he says, you've got 2 arms, 2 legs, a mouth, so go for it. So this morning, I picked up the flame and I walked into the room, and it gives you courage. That's one of the things the flame can do. It gives you courage to do what it is that you really want to do, but think you might not be up to it. That's really powerful. That's why it helps to make dreams come alive. So sitting there with these people, instead of offering them techniques, I just sat down and I began to do what I love doing, which is telling stories. So I talked to them about the young girls that I'd just been and worked with in Chechnya. Young girls that have experienced things that no human being should ever experience. I talked about our work in Sudan, southern Sudan, where people are, you know. I talked about the people in Northern Ireland. Yes, Northern Ireland, very close to very civilized places where still atrocities happen. So as I spoke to them, I was trying to close the distance, first of all, between me and them. That's the first thing we need to do as peacemakers. And then, between each other, as I was sharing, one woman put up her hand. And, of course, I had a translator. I don't speak all these languages, okay? Just in case you think I'm, superhuman with my languages. So this woman said, can I share? She was a doctor from Croatia. And as she began to share, she talked about how she had lost her only son during the war. After the war had ended, she and her husband went to the island of Brač. It's a holiday place, beautiful place. And every day he sat on the veranda of their little house, and she went down to the beach every day, hoping that something would happen, hoping that it would just happen, that pain would be taken away. The days passed until it was close to them going home, and the last morning as she sat there, she was desperate. Remember, this is a woman, a Bosnian doctor, and there are 5 different warring factions sitting in that room. And this woman had the courage to tell her story. And she said she was sitting in the sand and just putting her hands in the sand, lifting up a handful and letting it drop through her fingers, as you do. Tears were coming down her face as she was telling this story. And then she said, suddenly something caught in her fingers. And at that same moment, the sea had come in and it just touched her feet. And then she said, with a lot of courage, I had what I can only describe as a spiritual moment. this beautiful thing was caught in her hand. She looked at it and she realized, not through the mind, but through something else talking through her heart, her soul, that the same water that was touching her feet, that water was touching the shores of Africa where children were dying through lack of food. That water was touching other parts in the world where people were celebrating life or were in trouble. She just had a momentary experience of unity. But folks, that's all it takes. And I'm sure we're here because in our lives, something has happened and we've had just a moment of a wake-up call. The trick is not to let it go and to go back to being normal. Yeah. Mind you, you guys over here, you do that, you're good. Not like the Brits with the, correctness. I took half of the addresses away at the beginning, like. As she was telling this story, she put her hand in her pocket and pulled something out. And she said, "This is what stuck in my hand. It's the most precious object I own because it symbolizes my child and all the other children in the world." She said, she got up from the beach, ran back to her chalet, her cottage, and said, "Let's go home. We've lost our son, but all the children in Croatia need us. We are doctors." The husband was on his feet. They were back home. And then she said, and the tears are pouring down her face, all the other people are captivated. And then she said, "I have this shell in my hands, and I would like to pass it round the room for you all to put your prayers into it that we can heal the children of this country." At that, all the other women were so caught in the awakening of something else within them. But from the other side of the room stood up this very large presence, this lady who was like the antagonist of the group, belligerent, a ringleader, and she stood up and everyone else went like, "Ugh," including myself, wondering what would happen. This woman made her way across the floor. There was total silence in the room. And then she went up to the doctor, knelt behind her, put her arms round this woman's body and started sobbing. And all she could say was, "I am so sorry. I am so sorry." And at that, the whole room, I won't say broke down, they broke through. But the tears began to fall as everything fell away, all the differences that we say between us, that one person is black, another is white, one is from this nation, the other one is that. The race, the religion, the culture, the creed. We create differences so quickly. But those women rose above all the differences, and in that moment they met on the commonality that we have as human beings. Those women met as mothers, as our beautiful friend here talked about, something that goes far and beyond the labels of human beings. From there, everything unfolded. We had another few days to put people together. But that's what the World Peace Flame can do. In your hand, as you move around and you have the courage to move forward, to act in the areas that you feel called to act in, we have to believe in the words of the people that have gone before us. Because throughout history, great men and women have perceived within their hearts a light, a source of light. And this light allowed them to look at the underlying unity around them. When we look at that, when we come from that space of unity, our words gain power, Our actions gain certainty, and our very presence will bring the dreams of peace alive. That's why we're here. I want to share with you just a few quotes from those people who managed to just coin it in a sentence. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt the power of a small group of committed citizens to change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. So people of Oregon, you got a job." A small group of committed citizens change the world. It's waiting. What is true of the individual will tomorrow be true of the entire nation if each individual refuses to give up hope. Mahatma Gandhi said that. The power of our humanity lies in understanding that peace cannot be delegated, but begins with you and I and the decisions we make on a day-to-day basis. I said that. Make your voice heard. Make your voice heard. We have to stand up and be prepared to act. Today we are approaching the 11th hour in so many areas that we need to act from the point of love, from the point of peace, from the point of not thinking there's something to be fixed. No, just from the point of why would we do anything else? That's where the power of our humanity lies. So if we really want to thank all these beautiful people here, the architect who's made this incredible work of peace, the carving, the people who have worked tirelessly, Irene, David, and all the people to bring this together, then we should not leave this gathering without making one small commitment to do something every single day to bring peace into the lives of our families, maybe into the workplace or maybe into the bigger world around us. But this shouldn't be an empty action. You know, I don't know what my time's like. I haven't put my watch down there, but I won't be long. But I was sitting there and I looked at this beautiful sculpture, this whole work of piece of art that we're under. And usually I say to people, this world is so beautiful. The Creator is, who can improve on this world that the Creator has made? So I said, the Creator doesn't need more beautiful monuments. It needs people to stand up. And then I thought, I have to rewrite that line because I believe this whole structure has indeed made the world a more beautiful place, even before we've placed the flame there. It is phenomenal. So I was going to take you through 5 minutes of silence to make your commitment, but I'm joking. Please give me your word. If you want, that today, before the sun sets, there's a power in that, before the sun sets, that you just take a few moments, maybe by the flame, with yourself, and make a commitment. What are you going to do that today will have made a difference in your life and in the lives of all the people that you spend time with? You see, nothing we do changes the past, but everything we do changes the future for these beautiful people, the children of our world. That's why we created the Peace Education and Action Pack, which we hope some teachers in Oregon will pick up. It's in over 1,000 schools worldwide. It's not us, it's the mothers who want something for their children. It's a values-based education, fun, celebration, cooperation. It's a stunning project. Look at it. Because I have to ask myself, where in modern society will these guys gain the character to lead our earth into the next century? What chance are we giving them? I mean, actually, a big chance in Oregon because you have this fabulous university around. But what about the journey from before they reach the university? That's our job. So I finish, and I leave you with the words of my mentor, without whom I would not be standing here, and none of this would be possible. We all stand on the shoulders of other people. We never know who the person is to our right or left. But I believe that, I speak for myself, that I'm here not because of anything great I've done, but by the grace of people who have helped me get here. My mentor said, there isn't much darkness in this world, really. There isn't, except when we deny the power of light and love. So to the community of Ashland, of Oregon, the whole of America and the world, let's not create a state in this moment to all the peoples in the world. I thank you for welcoming this monument of love and light into your being. May you use it to bring your dreams alive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Savitri. Very, very special. I just wanted to let you know that Savitri is blessing us tomorrow at 1 o'clock, a special workshop, a special time together between 1 and 5 at the Wesley Hall at the Methodist Church, creating balance in a changing world, the transforming power of the heart. So you have a sense of what Savitri brings, and she's gifting that to our community. So if you're interested, please come 1 o'clock at the Wesley Hall. The opportunity to be here at the pavilion on the SOU campus. This is SOU property, the SOU campus. This is the Sustainability Center of Southern Oregon University. We're able to be here because of the meeting and an immediate yes from the president, Linda Schott. Linda.
Greetings. It is an honor to stand here today to speak on behalf of Southern Oregon University. I'm representing the university, and I'd like to acknowledge others from the university who made this possible. First of all, we have many members of our governing board, the Board of Trustees. I'd simply like to recognize them. They're waving. Several members of my administration are here as well. And probably most importantly, I'm not sure who's here, but our facilities staff and the director of the farm and the Center for Sustainability did much hard work to get this ground ready to work out the arrangements for the flame. So let's please give them a round of thanks. When I was a very young historian in training in a PhD program at Stanford University, I had been studying intellectual history, the history of ideas, and women's history. And I was looking for a dissertation topic, as we all do at that point in our careers. I searched for a topic where it seemed to me that men and women were thinking a bit differently. And at that same time, this was in the early 80s, I looked at the newspaper and I saw that women were protesting nuclear weapons at Seneca Falls, New York, and Grenham Common, England. And I realized, I think this may be a topic on which men and women think a bit differently. So I began to investigate. And I eventually settled on a dissertation that explored women's involvement in the peace movement, and particularly two groups: the Women's Peace Party, that was founded here in the United States during World War I, and the group it evolved into, the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. I've written a whole book on this subject, but I'm not going to tell you about all of it. I will tell you about two key concepts that I think are relevant here today. First of all, as you can tell from the title, the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, this group believed very deeply that peace could only exist where there was justice and freedom. Now, the men who were organizing on behalf of peace at this same time period in the early 20th century were really focusing on disarmament. Their efforts were to reduce the harm done by war, but not necessarily to do away with it altogether. Where the women envisioned a nurturing, just world where people were free, and that would enable true peace. A second concept that was critical to this group was the concept of unity within diversity. The first group they formed was the Women's Peace Party, WOMAN, W-O-M-A-N. And it connoted the belief that all women would share in the same way. But they evolved to being the Women's, W-O-M-E-N-S, as they acknowledged that they were never going to get unanimity, and that there were differences that divided, even while there were commonalities that united. So here in the United States, we have a motto, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. But this group believed that unity would come within diversity. We didn't have to do away with diversity. We had to embrace it at the same time we embraced the things we had in common. These concepts made a lot of sense to me when I was studying this organization, and they make a lot of sense to me today. Thus, I was pleased when the SOU community, during our strategic planning process, identified values that were very close. SOU identified diversity and inclusion, equity and access, and sustainability as critical values in our university community. Thus, it was an easy decision then when Barry and Catherine Thalden, for whom we have to thank for this beautiful facility, introduced me to Irene and David and their idea of installing a peace flame here at Southern Oregon University. And I am delighted to say that Southern Oregon University today becomes the first university in the world to house the International Peace Flame. It's pretty cool, something to be proud of. This flame symbolizes values that are at the heart of SOU and our plan to become Oregon's university for the future. We seek to provide a life-changing education to those who want it and who will use that education to build a better future for themselves and their communities. If we do our jobs well, and I can tell you we have an amazing staff and faculty who work very hard. If we do our jobs well, we believe that our future will be one of greater peace and justice, one that understands how unity can exist within diversity, one that values the sustainability of our world, and that prioritizes the fair and equitable treatment of all humanity. Installing the Peace Flame here on our campus also shows the close relationship between SOU and the Ashland community and how we can work together to enhance the quality of life, both for our students and for the citizens of Ashland. This is just one of many collaborations that already exist and that will continue to flourish, making both our campus and this community stronger. We're delighted to host this flame. We look forward to partnering with the middle school flame keepers. We hope some of them will become our students in a few years. We thank you all for being here, and to all of our friends from across the world who take part in this celebration with you, with us. Thank you.
And Pam Marsh is going to, Pam. Here she is. So let me just say that Pam was part of the founding of the Ashland Culture Peace Commission from the beginning. She was our liaison to the city council as we launched, as we started out. And so I'm delighted our journey continues.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, like others, I am deeply honored to be here with all of you today. And as I look out into this crowd, and I know so many of you, I wish there was some way to measure all the work that you've been doing for peace all along, many times for your full life. We would have to start, if we tried to do that, with all the steps that you've taken in March after March after March. We would have to talk about the times when you've stood in silent protest. We would have to talk about the telephone calls you've made, the meetings you've attended, the letters you've written, the campaigns you've worked on, the campaigns you've run, the checks you've written, the church meetings you've attended, the cookies you baked to go to the church meetings that you've attended, the hungry that you've fed. If we could take all of that and find a common metric, that stream of energy would reach to the moon and back, or maybe several times around the earth, because you've been doing this work forever. And what the Peace Flame is here today is not an introduction of a new idea to anybody here, but what it is affirmation of the work of a lifetime. Some of our stories are a little quirky and interesting. I wanted to mention when Linda was doing her PhD at Stanford and looking at nuclear protests around the world, I was a young mother in Palo Alto, and I was looking at those same reports, and I was scared to death. I joined with 2 other young mothers, and we started having tea and talking about how scared we were in a world where we were raising children with the specter of nuclear war on our doorstep. And as a result, we formed a little protest of our own. We formed an organization we called Neighbors for Peace, and we made a little door decal to go on the door. The design of the decal was pretty basic. It was a picture of a mushroom cloud and a big international no slash across it. Not subtle, but it was very clear what we intended with that. And we distributed over a couple of years 50,000 decals across the country. A statement to put on your door to say, our values don't contemplate this. We welcome people to our doorstep who share a different set of values. Now, Neighbors for Peace certainly did not change the world, but it gave us a little bit of empowerment at a moment when it seemed like there was a lot of chaos around us. In 2018, it is clear that the work for peace is as important as it has ever been. We are facing a world in which many of our governments are in disarray. We are facing an environmental crisis, and it's not hyperbole to note that really threatens life as we know it on this planet. We have a choice. We can go down the path of threats and violence, or we can choose something else that starts with compassion and connection and love. And the existence of the Peace Flame here will remind us that we have a choice. So many thanks to David, Irene, the Peace Commission, and to all of you who every day are going out and doing the work.
Thank you. We're going to conclude, and Irene, would you introduce the conclusion?
The Rook Valley Peace Choir will sing Imagine.
On we go. On we go. Blessings.
Just the beginning, right? Next step. That's it. And together. Yes.
Yeah.
You did it. I love you. Beautiful. Good to meet you. Nice to meet you too. I'm so touched. So beautiful. Your speech is do this together. It was a joint effort. Thank you for leading. It means a lot to me for you to be here tonight. Yeah. Thank you. It means a lot to me. All the people who spoke for me. I believe in this organization.
I just didn't know some of those stories. It was great.